So I'm going to be talking about Wednesday, a Netflix show, which is probably like one of the best Netflix shows I've seen this year. Yeah, it's really entertaining, and Del Toro just did such a good job with this show. Even the Pinocchio movie, which came out recently on Netflix, like that's a really good movie. Like if you hadn't seen that too, even if you think it's gonna be something that you wouldn't really care about, but then when you actually watch it, like damn, both Wednesday and Pinocchio, they're so dark, man. They're so different. It gives you like a different light of these classic, family stories, and just done in a more darker way, kind of like Sabrina. If you've watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and then you go to like the Netflix one, it's just so much darker, but you're more interested because you're more grown up now. So yeah, I'd say if you loved these things as a kid, and then you want to see a more, I don't know, darker version of these stories, then I definitely recommend Wednesday and Pinocchio, which I'll do my own review of that. Like it'll be separate. I mean, I could have did them together, but I'm just gonna talk about Wednesday because yeah, this was probably like the best show I've seen on Netflix this year. Can I say? I think. I mean, there's Blockbuster. Like that's good for like a comedy show, but when it comes to like my favorite show I've seen so far this year, probably Wednesday. I mean, we're gonna have Alice in Borderland soon, but who knows? This still might be my favorite show of this year when it comes to Netflix. Since Netflix, I've been on and off with it. I've been more on Amazon or other things. But yeah, this show is really good. It mainly focuses on Wednesday though. It doesn't really focus that much on the Addams family. I mean, you get to see them sometimes, but it's mainly focused on Wednesday. And I mean, it took some time for me to, like her character, because she's basically like a goth anyway. She loves death and stuff. So yeah, but it gets to a point where she actually starts to care about other people, because she kind of stopped feeling for things when it got to a point where I guess she lost something in the past. But these people who she's around, when she gets basically expelled from a school that she was at and takes to like some outcast school, when she's around people that I guess she can relate to, it kind of brings out some emotions that she kind of held back, like actually caring and stuff, because she kind of gave those kind of emotions a long time ago. Yeah, and the characters that she meets kind of helps her actually open up. Yeah, because there is a few characters, and then there's one who she kind of butts heads with at the beginning but actually becomes friends with. Yeah, I guess the popular girl. Yeah, she's like a banshee, I think. Was it a siren or a banshee? I think it's a siren, not a banshee. Yeah, because they're basically able to control people. Yeah, they can basically do whatever they want. And I guess she's really talented too, because when Wednesday tries to have like a sword fight with her, I forgot what you call the actual thing. You know what posh people do when they have those kind of sword battle things and they have like the armor and stuff. She basically tries to take her on. Like Wednesday seems like she gets close to beating her, but she still gets the upper hand and defeats her and just tries to shame her and stuff. Like she has competition because she wants to be the best, basically. Yeah. And it's that kind of popular girl who's kind of insecure kind of thing. And it seems like she was going to be the main threat for Wednesday until there was actually a main threat, which at the beginning they was trying to make it sound like Wednesday was going to be the main threat. But by the time we get to the end, she's not really the main threat. But for the whole show, you was thinking like, oh wait, is what's going to happen going to be because of her? Yeah. Because the family moved her to this place, but then she ends up destroying it by the end. Because we find out about some prophecy that she finds out that she's basically going to destroy the school, and there's this, this pilgrim guy who's going to either trying to stop her, or possibly he could be the threat, which ends up happening. But then there's someone who helps Wednesday get to the point where she triggers it, and we'll get to that later on. But yeah, I mean, her character starts off as just like a typical, popular girl bully, high school bully. But then you start to see, like, her jealousy is because, she hasn't been able to get someone without controlling them, basically. And that's what she does with this, I guess this witch kid. I forgot his name, but it's basically someone who likes Wednesday, but, it's not like he's getting controlled by Wednesday to, basically, this guy liking her. And she just gets a bit jealous about that, because he tends to try to be with Wednesday, even though Wednesday doesn't even care about anyone, because she doesn't really have emotions at that time. Yeah. But she never really trusted him anyway, because she thinks like he's possibly the main threat, because there's this at the beginning they kind of introduce this monster who I guess is killing people like through the show, and we don't really know who it is. I kind of predict who it was by episode 3. I mean, at first I wasn't sure, and I wouldn't have guessed his character, but yeah, we'll get to that anyway when I talk about the monster and the ending, yeah, and how, I mean, what could happen in season 2 basically, you know. But yeah, we'll just talk about her again because it gets to a point where you actually start to feel a bit for her character, especially when her mum comes begging to help her with her abilities, otherwise she'll make her life a living hell and stuff. You know, saying that she has some new stepfather, she basically doesn't want anything to do with her mother, and a lot of what her mother is kind of rubbed off on her, but she's trying to be better, and you kind of have to respect her for that, yeah. I mean, I've heard people say that her being, you know, black and a villain, that shouldn't be a thing, but I don't know what kind of people are watching this show, because it even got to a point where, I guess I should talk about the friend, yeah, the one who's just so happy all the time, who's also a werewolf, who hasn't had her full transformation yet, and then like Wednesday has to share a room with her, and you see like different sides where one's light and one's dark, you know, Wednesday's on the dark side, and you know, her friend's on the light side, and I guess she's an okay character, a bit annoying at first, but she kind of goes on you, I guess. I mean, the whole cast kind of goes on you, and that's the good thing about Wednesday. I mean, from the very beginning, I liked the show, and then as it went on, I started to like all the characters, even Wednesday, who, you know, she just seemed a bit moody and stuff, and didn't really care about anything, until it gets to a point where her friends actually get hurt, and she actually shows emotion, which is just weird to see from Wednesday, because I grew up with like the original Addams Family movies. I've watched, I watched 2 of the animated ones, only because times where I'm with my little cousin, because, you know, need to put something on at Halloween, for the kids anyway, yeah, before I'm watching horrors, yeah. And they're okay, but I prefer the live action Adam Family movies, yeah, they're pretty good, and this is probably the best one I've seen since then, yeah. Yeah, just getting to see the Addams Family again in a more darker way, because they was kind of already dark in the original Family movies, you know, with the things that they say, but it just don't go too far in what they actually show, like this show does. Like, you actually see people getting killed and stuff, and the way how Wednesday gets expelled by literally putting piranhas in like a flipping, oh my god, in the water when they're basically practicing swimming. Because basically, like, these guys kind of bully her brother, and she wants to get revenge on him, and she basically tries to feed him to piranhas, and I don't want to say how that goes, man. Let's just say it's not pretty. I mean, they don't really fully show it, but you kind of see blood anyway, so yeah, I'll just say that. And from that, like, when she gets to this new place, she has like this therapist who, you know, basically tries to help Wednesday, but she doesn't even care. And it gets to a point where her family is a part of it, and it seems like they're all misfits, really. And she's just like, what the hell? Then it gets to a point where she possibly could be the villain, and then it's revealed that she actually isn't, even though it feels like so much that she is. Because Wednesday is just trying to get to the bottom of what's actually going on. And who might be related to controlling this monster. Which I'll get to the point where I'll talk about who the monster is at the end, but yeah. Because Wednesday does want to find out like who is going to cause what's going to happen. Because just seeing all these people randomly getting murdered and stuff, and just everything that's going on is just really entertaining, basically. Also the part with the sheriff and I guess his son, who likes Wednesday as well, because there's basically 2 people who like Wednesday in the show, and they both kind of clash a lot because they didn't really get on before Wednesday even came, and it kind of gets even worse when she comes. Like, a lot of problems start to happen, and the head teacher with her, yeah, like, not even liking Wednesday because she keeps getting in mischief to the point where she's nearly gonna expel Wednesday if she keeps not listening to what she says, because she's trying to do something she doesn't really want her to do, and it makes you think that, you know, she's kind of behind what's going on with the pilgrim and stuff, and trying to bring this pilgrim back to basically kill all the outcasts, because that's the main villain's plan, which I'm going to get to soon. But I'm just going to quickly talk about Finn, I guess, because yeah, this hand, like, they was able to put so much character in this head, just this hand, man. Like, even when it gets to the point where he nearly dies, like, you're just like, oh damn, and you actually see Wednesday cry and stuff, well, about to cry, because that thing is probably like her closest friend. Yeah. Because there was a time when she was a little girl where she had a scorpion, and it was the thing she probably cared about the most. And when it died, she kind of died at the same time, really. Because I guess all of her emotions disappeared in that moment, as she explains to her friend that she's sharing a room with. And why she doesn't really feel emotions. Because it gets to a point where, her friend kind of throws a birthday party for her. Even two people who don't even want to be in the same room as each other be there. Well, I think. I'm not sure if the sheriff's son was there, but the rich kid was there, and you just see Wednesday's reaction that, like, why the hell would you throw me a birthday party? I'm a goth. Man, that sounds a bit one, but yeah. Because she doesn't really do emotions and parties. What she wanted to focus on her birthday was solving this mystery instead. And then she basically tricks her friends, that she wants to go out with one and go on a date with the other one, and he ends up, going to that house, and then one of them gets hurt, and then the best friend's just like, what the hell is this, man? And then they kind of have a falling out, and, she kind of moves rooms for Wednesday, and she ends up alone, basically. But I guess she's still focused on solving this case and finding out who's behind it. She suspects the therapist, but that goes nowhere. And before I kind of finish off the rest of that storyline, I guess I'll talk about the stuff with the family, like the little bits we get with the family, like, because basically the sheriff kind of, was he the one who, I don't know if he actually was the one who arrested, I think it was like maybe his father or something, because basically the sheriff doesn't really trust Adam, basically Wednesday's dad, because he was framed for a murder that he actually didn't do, and we actually found out it was the mother, but then we actually found out the person was already going to die anyway. He was poisoned. So technically, none of them go to jail, even though the dad at first, he definitely went to jail, but it took like years later after everything that happened when they was in high school for him to go to jail, though, when he, visits Wednesday and stuff, like the whole family, yeah. And I also like the little scenes we have with Wednesday and the brother, yeah, they're nice. I just see them throw grenades in the water to catch fish. Like, I'm just like, what the hell's this? But that's how his character is anyway. In the animated movies anyway. Like, he loves explosives. So, yeah. And when we get to see the uncle, my favourite character from the Addams family in the movies, yeah. Like, he was entertaining. And it's the only person who actually makes Wednesday really happy as well. Because I guess they have a lot in common with the way how they think. And, the uncle's just a criminal as well. Like, he has to hide out and stuff. Because Wednesday helps him hide out and stuff, yeah. Yeah, he's a cool character in this. He kind of helps Wednesday find out who's actually behind all this. And yeah, he's also the one who saves the hand as well, because when he nearly dies, he uses like his electric abilities to, save the thing. Because, man, even that was like a sad scene. Man. But he at least survives. He just has like a little hole there, but yeah, it gets sewed up. And it's just funny how all the characters kind of bond with, Finn, like the hand. Even like Wednesday's basically best friend, who I guess they kind of work things out in the end, but I'll get to that. And I guess I'll just talk about the main villain reveal, which is the sheriff's son, which I just knew for episode 3 there was something off about him. I mean, maybe he wasn't aware of what he's doing. I mean, we find out that it's one of the teachers with the glasses who is actually controlling him and makes him think that everyone doesn't really actually care about him, and that's why he listens to her. But he's basically the one going around killing people. I mean, he tried to make you think like it's not him when they go to that place on Wednesday's birthday, that house, and he gets scratched by the monster. But then you also see the witch kid there, because he's always at the same place where where something's happened, and that's why Wednesday never trusted him for the whole show until the very end when he's in prison and she realizes it's not him. Yeah. Because she kind of makes a friend earlier on, like this kid who loves bees. He kind of gets hurt because they're basically working together to find out who this monster is. And then I guess it gets to a point where Wednesday goes out on a date with someone to the school ball. And since, the kid didn't really have a date, he just tries to finish what Wednesday and he'd started. Then he gets hurt trying to investigate, basically. But he does find out some information to help Wednesday figure out who the threat actually was. And let's just say that gets out of hand because even though for the rest of the show he's kind of in hospital all that time, but yeah. And it goes all over the place with who it actually might be until we find out it's like the sister. Not the sister. What am I talking about? I mean, basically, it was the head teacher's assistant. Basically, yeah. I mean, they made it look like it was going to be the head teacher, but then it was the head teacher's assistant. I mean, there was one time when it was the therapist, but then it wasn't her. It was actually the head teacher's assistant. Because she wants to bring back the pilgrim to get rid of all the outcasts because of what they've done, I guess. Yeah. So it was really like a normie who was the one who was behind it all. So yeah, that was kind of her plan. And it seems like she could have blamed it on Wednesday maybe. Because Wednesday is also the key too to making all this happen. So all she had to do was leave, but I mean, she wasn't supposed to leave anyway. She was supposed to get captured. So even if she tried to leave or actually listen to the head teacher, she would have, got captured anyway and brought back and then used as the key to to unleash the pilgrim guy, yeah, who wants to kill all the outcasts. And when we got to that moment, I was like, man, this is like Harry Potter. Like, oh my god, like, he was getting crazy with some of that stuff we were seeing, man, with what that pilgrim guy could do. Damn, he was getting crazy. But they do eventually stop him anyway, and seeing Wednesday's best friend actually become a full werewolf, because when it gets to that episode where I guess the family members are visiting, we see that her mother at least isn't happy about her not being a full werewolf yet. She hasn't had a transformation yet when it's a full moon. The dad, like, he's fine just letting her take her time, and he's kind of always there for her anyway. So maybe in season 2 we'll kind of see him talk again and say that she went full moon. Like in the full moon, she was able to become a full werewolf, and it was to protect her friend basically, and that's why she did it. Yeah. And it was a good final moment where she's fighting the monster. That was pretty cool. And then Wednesday, I think, is she the one who actually stops the pilgrim? I kind of forgot how it gets defeated again. Yeah. Like, someone stabs it in the back or something. Yeah. And it gets defeated. And you basically everyone's okay, basically. Yeah. Apart from the mayor, who was kind of, I don't know if he was like, he knew the secrets of what was going on, so he had to be killed and stuff. And that's why one of Wednesday's friends also nearly got killed, the guy who loves the bees. Yeah. But he's able to help out in the end, for the most part anyway. And they're able to stop the threat. And even after that, I think Wednesday's still a part of the scum, because she did get expelled, but then like the head teacher got killed when they was getting closer to uncovering who it was. Yeah, her assistant basically killed her. But yeah, because even in the end, the person who completely disliked Wednesday decided to trust her one last time and actually found out who it was, but she kind of dies. It's like a Harry Potter moment in the last movie where Professor Snape, someone who seems like he never liked Harry Potter, was actually the person who cared about him the most, because we actually find out it's his dad, and he basically gets killed at the end while trying to protect him. Yeah, it's similar to that, but obviously not on the same level. But yeah, still, man, it's just everyone has just some great character moments, and I love the whole cast. They did a great job. Such a great show. I can't wait for season 2, because this show was really entertaining, and I definitely recommend it. But yeah, guys, guess I'll end it here. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate if you could leave a like. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.